Now I want to go for a little bit of a trip down memory lane. Remember Kevin 07, and he marched into government, handsome victory in 2007, of course, when he won government from opposition for the Labor Party. And then he had a 2020 summit. Pulled everyone together, movie stars and the like, into Canberra to have this summit to find out what he should do. Well, one of the people who was there was the well-known economist, former academic, business advisor and contributing economics editor to The Australian, Judith Sloan. She joins me now live from Melbourne. Judith, thanks for joining us. You were at the 2020 summit as one of the experts on lifting productivity in the country, but you wrote a cracking column yesterday saying that it was all a load of piffle.
Yes, and I'd kind of forgotten about it. In fact, I think I'd blanked it out deliberately because it was so terrifying. But I was tidying up my bookshelves and I came across the documents from the 2020 summit with its very jazzy logo, and it just brought those memories flooding back. I think I managed to, become about the 1000th participant. Both because I retained some government positions from the previous coalition government, and therefore I had sort of a right to be there, but also I think having 2 X chromosomes probably tipped me over the line too.
the diversity ticket got you there.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you've gotten under the skin of Kevin Rudd because he wrote a retort, a reply to your column today in The Australian. And this is the sentence that really leapt out at me. Rudd said, after they won government, they marched into power, but we weren't so full of ourselves that we thought we knew everything. When was Kevin Rudd ever not so full of himself that he didn't think he knew everything?
Yes, that was, it kind of reminded me of my parents' advice that, sometimes you write a letter but you put it in the drawer. So I'm not sure, and then you generally throw it away. I think Kevin might have been better to leave it be. It was a very strange piece, including, a little sort of violin string entree about his difficult childhood and his heart condition, which I'm not sure I kind of figured out why that was relevant.
Well, he said it was relevant because he credits the 2020 summit with a program to push organ donation levels in this country. Now, look, there's been progress in that area. Whether you can pin it to the 2020 summit is another thing. He also pointed to the NDIS, I suppose, somehow saying that that's an outcome. He would say a good one. A lot of people would say we get to see what's going to unfold with the NDIS. But I suppose the broader question, Judith, is there are a lot of economic think tanks and political think tanks. There are policy organisations. There are interest groups. Governments themselves are looking at policy all the time. Is it necessary to have this sort of a festival to come up with ideas, or aren't all the key ideas actually sitting there just waiting for governments to have the gumption to introduce them?
Well, I think it was actually quite dangerous because really my lasting broad impression of the event was that it was just full of urges and what we would call rent seekers who were there to push their pet projects to be funded by the taxpayer.
That's the trouble. It becomes a way of a range of ideas about how we can make government bigger. And the best idea for the country would be a summit on how we can make government smaller.
Yes, no, there was never anything of that. And I also remember Hugh and Kate. I think you know who I'm talking about. Kate had a baby a minute before, as far as I could see. And they were there pushing Creative Australia, which was really code for the taxpayer needs to chip in more to promote this so-called Creative Australia. No, it was pretty hard to take, to tell you the truth, and I'm very pleased that no subsequent government has decided to go down that route.
Thanks for joining us, Judith. Appreciate it.